Your Excellency, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yourself? I hope you are well too.
I am well, I'm sure you can see that.
Good.
Your Excellency, let me first start by appreciating you for giving us this opportunity as Zimbabwe to visit your country. Over the days that we've been here, we've learned a lot. We've seen a lot. We have observed a lot. And I believe the colleagues here, they share the same sentiment. We want to also appreciate the wonderful work you are doing of transforming your country into a futuristic country. When you look at the way, the strides that we are making in Rwanda, we as young people on the continent, we are filled with hope. We are filled with a lot of aspiration. And as leaders, I believe we are taking a lot from what you are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the President. Thank you. Your Excellency, I want to take the privilege of being the first one to ask you my question. As a leader in Africa, I lead an organization in Zimbabwe. It is a media house, AB Communications. I'm sure colleagues here, they now know who AB Communications is. It's a media company with radio, newspaper. We are in that space. But this COVID-19 pandemic has brought a lot of challenges to us as leaders. And I also believe everybody in the house, no one's life has remained the same amidst this pandemic. When I look at us living today as corporate leaders and heads of ministries, and I look at you as a head of a country that went through a very difficult past, what comes to mind is the genocide against the Tutsis. But with such a background, you've managed to pick up the pieces and drive the people, lead the people, and show them the way, and achieved what you've achieved. My question to you is, as a leader, what are the secrets? I want the tips. I want the nuggets. What are the tricks? How do I lead amidst all that negativity and adversity? Thank you, sir.
Well, I don't think there are any tricks or shortcuts or that there is any magic. After all, as people, as human beings, we are going to do what is humanly possible. We cannot do things out of that scope. But I guess with every individuals, with people of countries and so on, they've got to look at the challenges before them. We have, as you said, we have had tragedies of different kinds. I mean, there was tragedy our country faced 27 years ago. But it is not just a tragedy that just happened. It really has a history to it. It is one of those things that only happens and exposes the history of the problem. And the problem that built up over many years and then ended up in that kind of situation of genocide. In fact, just like even this pandemic we talk about, the COVID-19, which has affected the whole world, one thing one needs to observe carefully. We see problems associated with COVID-19. But if we observe carefully, COVID-19 has also exposed our weaknesses, things that were not right, things that were not in place, or the thinking that has not been operationalized so that when a tragedy like this or a pandemic like this happens, then you simply deal with it the way you must deal with it. You find people are taken aback, it's by surprise, it's something that is insurmountable. But really all it does is exposes weaknesses in countries, in societies, in how things are managed. I mean, one quick example is, in our case, Africa, meaning or Rwanda, we discovered that we haven't made sufficient investments in public health. That comes out straight. And then you start even wondering, you say, why didn't we make the investments all along before? Or we did not think about, which we are now beginning to think about, manufacturing of vaccines, of different pharmaceutical needs, because we always waited and we are happy to keep receiving them from abroad, if I may. So now, therefore, to your point, back to your point, the tragedy that befell our country in 1904 wasn't just something that happened either by accident or by coincidence of some kind, and therefore we have to deal with it. No, we have a history that over decades that led up to that. So when dealing with the problem, like that one, let's say in Rwanda, there are choices to make. First, you define the problem, as therefore give it that history. And that means quickly that you've got to think of, how do I address the root causes, those actually problems that led to this to happen? Even before you think about dealing with the actual situation itself, there and then, you're already thinking about, how did it happen? How did we get here? And then from there, you've got to make a choice. Can we change the situation? Can we do things differently and avoid that history, and therefore also avoid that kind of problem happening again in the future? So that's how we approached it. But of course, again, all of a sudden, not everyone is going to think like that. So that's how it takes people, leaders. And leaders also are not going to address such problems alone. You've got to create a kind of infrastructure that is going to bring in everybody, because everybody is affected. In our situation, everybody was affected. So it is everybody that is going to be involved with better understanding of what our problem, or what caused our problem, or what our problem is, and then work together to address it. So in our particular case, it has been the politics, it has been the economics, it has been how socially people relate. Therefore, we had to take a hard look at this problem and face the hard things we had to deal with, and deal with them without excuses. Yes, if we had excuses, if we were to look for excuses, we would have failed. In fact, already people had cast us as a failed state. It was a failed situation. People did not give us a chance. They thought there was no tomorrow for Rwanda. It is gone. So, but we had to rise to the occasion and deal with the matter. And I guess other people dealing with their own problems can also be successful or make good progress in dealing with them.
Thank you. I think I got my secrets. If I can summarize it for you, ladies and gentlemen, get to the root of the problem, involve the people. As you as a leader, you are not going to solve it alone. So thank you once again, Your Excellency. Now let me take this opportunity to open to the floor for a few questions I'll take, and Your Excellency His Excellency will respond. Thank you.
We learned there is extreme discipline in Rwanda. We are very impressed, Your Excellency. Please, can you share us the secrets of the strategies of this discipline so that we take it back to Zimbabwe, to the private sector, into government?
Well, that's one area that gives us a great investment opportunity, so we can work together on that. But on a serious note, again, I guess the discipline comes from what I said earlier, that hard look at the problems of any nation by anyone. And then in dealing with those challenges, if you are you have set out to involve people, which must be the case, it has to be translated into what people see as their benefits as well, directed to them. The people must see that what they are faced with and what they must address, if they address that, they are the beneficiaries. That's what I'm talking about. Second, like in our case, as we set out to deal with our problems, in fact, we already having in our minds the kind of end state we want. You start on a journey of dealing with the challenges, but you're already having in mind the destination. So you are driven with that. And so that sense of urgency, that clarity on where you are coming from and where you want to go, and then the involvement of people and linking that with their benefits and showing it to them. That's actually the role of leaders. You explain, you show things, you know, so that in maybe a few days, weeks, months, or years, people start seeing benefits, so they feel the benefits. Then they are focused on that. So that discipline is about the focus that is generated by the sense of urgency and therefore the benefits that are going to be derived from dealing with whatever challenges you have before you. So it's theoretically, I mean, that's what it is. That's what I can say. But I can see your point also in saying, okay, theoretically you can say that, but how do you make it work? Because that's where problems develop. That's why you will find people make more progress than others, maybe in similar situations. It's not because they could not define what the issues are and approach to them, and so maybe all of them have the kind of knowledge of how to deal with the issue. But when it comes to the real practice. That's where the difference comes up. So I don't think I'll give you a completely satisfactory answer, because on the theory side, on the side of defining what the problem is, we may be together and even how to approach problems, but in practice, you will find there are these variations which I can't fully understand, but it will always depend on whether any institution had the opportunity for leaders to emerge that would stick to what needs to be done and work with the people and then get to where they want to go. So we can continue discussing that and make the necessary investments we said we could make. And
Thank you, Your Excellency. I'll take another question. Right on my right there.
Thank you, Excellency. My name is Ferdi Turasenga. I'm a Rwandan, doing business both here as a headquarter, also doing business in Zimbabwe. We have an office based in Harare, Samora Machel 146, for those who are from Zimbabwe. So, Your Excellency, it's not a question, it's actually appreciation and contribution, because I remember I turned 10 years old when you just liberated Rwanda, and there is a slogan in Zimbabwe where they say, Zimbabwe is open for business. I think everyone here knows that slogan. I want to say that Rwanda means business, because I'm really a product of the change and reforms that happen in this country. You can imagine, 10 years old, today I'm 37, and I own a company that's listed on Rwanda Stock Exchange. It's called EPC Africa Group, but the subsidiary of EPC Africa Group is listed on Rwanda Stock Exchange. We are an IPP, what we call Independent Power Producer. And when I went to Zimbabwe in vacation, I realized there was an opportunity in energy, and I started the business in Zimbabwe because I know everything is possible. During the pandemic, when everyone was running away, I found the opportunity, and today we are doing business, and I'm encouraging so many Rwandans, even Zimbabwean. And since I understand that this trade corridor of Rwanda and Zimbabwe is important if it works both ways, I encouraged so many Zimbabweans, and today I can tell you that we have a strong investor among the team, Mr. Exodus, who has, Your Excellency, he's going to invest he's very strong in housing, and he's looking at our market and putting a lot of houses here for affordable housing. So I'm encouraging the people, being Zimbabwe and Rwandan, to really ride in this highway that our two excellencies are building for us, so because we share so many, being past, even the future. Thank you, Your Excellency.
I think if I may just react to that, I think that's wonderful. And my conclusion to that is, let's do both. Let's be open to business and let's mean business. So I think if we...
Thank you. I'm sure, Minister, you've heard that. Zimbabwe is open for business and let's mean business. Thank you. I'll take my last question before our conclusion. In the middle there. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. There's been a significant and clear mind shift change that has happened in Rwanda, which I think is responsible for the significant growth and development that we have seen. You have spoken in your address about hard work, dedication, and self-reliance. You also talked about a destination. And what I wanted to ask you, Your Excellency, is to say, what do you see for Rwanda in the next 5 to 10 years? What is your vision for Rwanda? Thank you, Your Excellency.
Building on all that you've referred to, that has been said, for Rwanda in the next 10 years, again, I use the earlier being on the journey. we are on a journey in search of prosperity, development. Like, if you put it in some technical terms, it's either today we are low-income country, we want to be medium-income country, upper medium, and higher. So, but it's not just about level of development also. As you think about that, you think about the stability of society, our society. And in particular, Rwanda, where we have come from. I think we've been building toward being a nation. We may have diversity in our society, but that gets to be resolved for the unity, the strength of the country. So that development, that prosperity I'm talking about, which we must achieve on the basis that every Rwandan benefits, irrespective of their religion, whatever has divided us in the past. So the vision is, we've already made some little progress. We want to make more, maybe 2 times what we have already achieved. Or if possible, 3 times. Why not? I think we should not limit ourselves to how fast and how much we can get, bearing in mind where we want to be. So really that is, it's trying to do better, do more of what we are doing already, and taking our people to that level of development where development and stability, and people come comfortable with that, and we need to have that.
Thank you, Excellency. All right, let me also take this opportunity to congratulate you for finally winning a game, Arsenal.
We're about to win more.
My final question to you, Mr. President, is on the sponsorship. I'm on Twitter, I follow you. I've read so many negativity, sadly from African people. We are Africa, we are poor. Why are we giving money to those guys? They are millionaires. My question is, what has been the impact of that activity, that intervention? How has it been?
Well, I think negativity arises out of just confusion. Yes, I don't think those people know what they are talking about. I really don't think they know what they are talking about. Because if they imagine that Rwanda just started spending its money anyhow, like that, and in fact giving it to those who don't even need money like I do, like Rwanda does, I think that's where the confusion starts from. By the way, not only are we working with the Arsenal, we are happy to do that, and I've been a fan of Arsenal Football Club for over 30 years, maybe 35. But we're also working with another football club, Paris Saint-Germain, the one in France, in the French league. Now, of the several pillars of development, in fact, one of them is tourism. We've invested in tourism, in infrastructure, and train the people around services that go along with that, and so on and so forth. But tourism, you need visitors. You need people to come and enjoy what the country offers. The beauty of the country, the experience, and so on and so forth. In fact, the story might be long. Let me try to see how I can. It's the same confusion even our own people had one time when after 1994, maybe around 98, we started building infrastructure, with limited resources. We built a hotel. I remember at first it was managed by Intercontinental, then later on it was bought by Serena. But it was built initially on government money. And we were being attacked by people here and there saying, government is wasting money, how you are building a 5-star hotel, what? They really thought we were stupid. So we just kept quiet. We said, okay, maybe after 5 years we will get to understand what we were really doing. You can see how long it takes some people. So, but the strategy was, because we were already building up the momentum for development of tourism. And when you are having tourism, there are these ones, the backpackers, there are others who really have money and want to spend it. So I was thinking about them. If people want to spend their money on the beauty of the country and the experience, and they come and have nowhere to stay, or you have limited them to some place they are not comfortable with, then they may not come. But if they know they will come and stay in a good hotel, they will stay. So you can see the contradiction here. People are saying you are wasting money building up this infrastructure, but the infrastructure was built for a reason. And in a short time, in fact, the hotel did well. And that's why I was telling you, we sold it and paid off the loans. And we did not build it as a government to run hotel business, no. We built the hotel so that when it serves its purpose, the private sector may take it over and run the business. But initially, government cannot dictate to the private sector and say, put your money here, put your money there, put your money in. No. The private sector puts their money where they want, not where I tell them to put it. So in this case, if I had waited to tell them to build a hotel, a 5-star hotel, they would not have built it. But because I built it and it was there standing, then the private sector gets attracted and say, oh, you know what? I want that hotel. It's different from telling the person you build the hotel or you building it and then selling it. So for the sort of tourism, the investments we made, the partnership we have with the Arsenal, has actually attracted more people who have brought to the country more money than we have given Arsenal. So you don't have to be a very sharp businessman. I'm not one, but I think on this one we got it right. So that negativity is... But on the other hand, by the way, it's not so much the Africans who have been negative. I may even disagree with that. Actually, it has been, either, if it is Africans, they are few, but they teamed up or used the outsiders. Because I have seen some writings in the British papers, not written by Africans, no, but by those people there, saying, you know, Rwanda is wasting our money because they give us aid, right? And they think they, but even then they are mistaken. If you give me aid, how do you want me to use it? Or why would you dictate to me how I use it? If you can give me 50 million, and in using the 50 million, I'm able to earn the country 300 million, why would you blame me for that? There must be something wrong in... But then they politicize it, they bring it into, you know, use it for politics. This is why I say it is just confusion. But we are happy with the partnership with Arsenal, even happier that I'm the fan of Arsenal. And we are now doing well with the PSG, and I'm now a good fan of PSG. And I tell you, when you come back and you have time, we can go into numbers. I will show you how it is working very well for us, and I think it is. And it is working very well for those we have a partnership with.
I think, Your Excellency, you are a shrewd businessman, contrary to your disclaimer. Thank you, ladies.
I will do business in my next life after this one.
Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. Your Excellency, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much.